Good afternoon, all. Paul from CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, April 23rd. Looking at Window Traders market profile of the SNNQ. Boy, oh boy, does this merry-go-round, carousel, roller coaster continue. I think the most important thing to take out of today, ES came up, took out last week's high, so they had a potential inside week up. But look at how they failed. Barely took it out. Why did they fail? Could it be because we got close to a $65 balance high? Very possible, right? What it does do, though, as of now, is it has the potential to give ES either an outside week up or down by the end of Friday. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Now, NQ never took out last week's high, okay? They did not take it out, and they didn't get to the 9 side. But again, with these type of ranges, here's the thing that has to be kept in mind. One day doesn't make a market. We always talk about that. So I'm not going to say the bulls failed at the balance high. Let's see what happens going forward. But it's something to keep in mind. Right? I talked to the room this morning. I gave them my hump levels already early on for tomorrow. Bears want to defend H's high. Why? Because after the market failed in A, B, and C, and then they pushed down, although they failed to the downside, we tried to go trend. We had 3 sets of single prints in the S. They all failed. NQ only had 1. However, the bulls tried to push up. Couldn't even get back to the open in the S. NQ got to the open a couple of times, but that was it. So, again, I always talk in the room how both sides had their chance, and then the energy goes out of the market. And I told them that. I said, after that happened and we took back the trend day down, I said, look, we might make a new low, but I don't expect them to go ripping lower. Well, what happened? We did make a new low, but they didn't go anywhere. We didn't even get the overnight low in ES, and it was close. And we went back and got a wider POC, which I said was good odds. So not only do we look at the market on an intraday, but obviously the bigger picture here too with the balance high. So bears want to defend H's high. Why? Because if they don't defend it tomorrow, there's a good chance to get overlapping a high, if not higher value, and then try the inside week up again and the balance high. And that goes for NQ also. Okay? So that's a very critical level for the bears to defend. As far as the bulls go, they need to defend, I believe, the gap fill. Because if you take back a gap, which was very large to start with, after failing at a balance high, now again, that doesn't mean if we fill the gap, we can't go back up. Of course we can. But it gets dicier. Plus, look at Tuesday's range. There's nothing inside of here until the afternoon pullback. So if the gap fills and you get acceptance into Tuesday's range, you got an issue. Same with NQ. Now they do have, oh no, they're only 8 wide on Tuesday. We're actually 9 wide from the 16th that we gapped below it, now we gapped above it. So that's still a valid point. So do you see how things can change if those levels are breached? Okay? Very important. Now, righty is up on the daily. Righty took out the 9th high. Not the 9th high. Yeah, the 9th high. Righty took out the 9th high pretty good. Yes, they came back into it, but that, to me, they're up. Now, if they take out today's low tomorrow, right back to balance. But we all held out gaps. Okay? Righty got both overnights. NQ got both IBs. Righty ends with a double distribution day down, an afternoon rally high. Yet, they're holding a gap. You talk about mixed MGI. You talk about fragile traders with no loyalty, these short-time traders. Think about it. ES and NQ. NQ goes out with an afternoon rally high, as does ES, and 9 wide point of controls. which, by the way, got lowered throughout the day, even with the gap holding. The bulls had a very good lead on our checklist sheet. It ended up being, at the end of the day, ES bulls won 4-3, NQ 5-4. So the MGI got tremendously mixed. I had a good day. Stayed out of trouble when the MGI mixed. Believe it or not, I did nothing but long this market all day. Okay? I missed the overnight high in NQ, one of my staple plays, which frustrated me. I didn't get it. However, I did have some good longs in A period with ebb and flow trades. I had a trade, and I got fortunate. I had a trade. I was long. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to remember the prices. I don't think I'm going to. I forgot exactly where I was. I was long a one lot, another one lot, and then I added 3 at the 144, and then the market just exploded to the upside. Exploded. So that was a fantastic trade on a 5 lot. I got long on the turnover, on the 15-minute turnover. So A was very good. I lost on my initial trade in B period, ebb and flow. Okay, I did not get A's high, so I missed 2 of my staple plays, and then lost on the only trade I took on in B. But then C, I did get the IBI and made money on a couple of ebb and flows. I did lose in D period on a long. I didn't think we would go trend down. On the first trade, I made money. I didn't think we'd hold. Now, we didn't hold them, but I ended up losing small. I made money on one, lost on another one. I didn't think we'd go trend. We didn't in NQ. We did in ES, but it filled. What else? I did the same thing in E. Now, again, we didn't go trend, or we went trend very small at the end, but made money on those. G period, same thing, longs on ebb and flow. Actually took a short versus the one-time framing down. I ended up losing on it, and I flipped long. So I was short 1 at 60-something. And I said, if it gets above, I took that short against the 144, I believe. I said, if it gets above it, I'm going long. I took a 4-lot long, so I covered my short for like a 10-point loss, and then G popped up and did very well on the 3-lot that I was long. Okay? And then I long both J and L a little bit. J was a little ebb and flow trade, and L was against value low. So I had a good day. I think we saw the market very well, even when it changed, to stay out of trouble. This market is intensely wild right now, and there is no harm. I've cut my size. I'm still trading NQ. But there's no harm going to MNQ or MES and playing smaller, because they're merciless if you're on the wrong side of this market. Okay, so keep that in mind. Let's go to the charts. Again, I had a couple of new people join again today. I think what we provide, digging deep into the intraday profile, is a benefit that not too many rooms offer. So I urge you to come check out what we can offer. So here's the weekly NES. Okay? It's balance. We took out last week's low. We took out last week's high. Inside day down paid very handsomely on Monday. Inside day up today was an absolute failure. It barely did it. So we're still waiting for more MGI. Right? Still waiting. Do we have it outside week up, one outside week down? We have 2 days. We'll find out. The daily is balance. Yeah, I know we gapped high. I know we're one-time framing up 2 days in a row. But you guys who have been listening to me know until we take out that Wednesday high, we're still balanced. Plain simple. Question is, do we fail at it? Okay? Now, triple Qs didn't get as close as we did. Okay? And they didn't get them out of their weekly high yet, like we did. So they haven't had an opportunity for an inside week up. IWM Same as ES. They had an inside week down to start, and they had an inside week up, and they got pretty good legs. We'll see at the end of the week. Do we have an outside week up? Do we have an outside week down? Don't know yet. It's still balanced. However, I will call their daily up as they took out this high, and they are up. Now, they do have another gap up here. Look at that. You know, they failed at this high, but I'm still calling it up. That high was 195.06. Today, we took it out 195.51. Did we fill that gap? We did not. We still have a buck to go to fill that gap. So, interesting times. Look, if you cut your losses when you're wrong in this type of market and take small losses, you're getting multiple opportunities, right? Multiple opportunities. So don't get stubborn when you do have a loss. This way, your mental capacity and your financial reserve is still intact to continue trading. Hope you had a good day trading. Rest up. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.